Hello, and welcome back. As the engineer whisperer, engineers like to ask me, Andrea, what is the difference between a change and a transition? And why should I care? Great questions. A change is an external situation or event that happens to you. Usually it happens to you quickly and surprisingly. Most of the time, you don't know about it, and 90% of the time, you have no control over it. A change can be something like you're getting ready to go to work, but you can't find your keys. Or you're driving down the road and there's an accident and now you have to take a detour. Or you get to the office and the meeting that you've been preparing to, it's not going to happen because your boss got sick and the meeting needs to be rescheduled. So, from really everyday changes that show up in your life, changes can be as big as you're getting a new coworker, you're getting a new boss, your team will be reorganized, you're going to have to move to a different location, your job is changing, or maybe your job is ending and you're going to be laid off. So, I think you got the hang of it that changes happen to all of us. Now, a transition is the internal psychological process that you're going through in order to adopt and adapt to that change. Yes, it's internal, so it's invisible for everybody else. It's happening in your heart and in your mind inside of you, and it relates to your mental and emotional state. A transition can be quick, as I'm going to find my keys and I'm going to move on, or it can be slow and it can take a long time, depending on what the change was that you went through. So, why should you care? Well, if you're like most of the engineers that I work with, you want a change to be successful and you want that change to positively impact your life and career. Well, if we know that most of the change we're not in control and it happens to us quickly, then logically the only way to have some control over a change is through the transition process. And really, a transition process is you responding to the change that either happened or is happening to you. And when I say responding, well, you can choose your respond by saying, oh, that won't work for me, and then really stay in this protective mindset of your reality, of your identity, and of your world. Or you can say, oh, I already know that. There's nothing to learn here. I will be okay either way. And you hold on to this false sense of knowing and understanding of the situation and of what's going on internally with you. So a transition is really your power to respond to a change with a growth mindset. So, for instance, instead of saying, that won't work for me, you can ask yourself, well, how can this work for me? Instead of saying, I already know that, you can ask yourself, what can I learn here? Because really, transitions have three phases. The first one is when you say goodbye to the old reality. When you decide, okay, I won't make it to that meeting because I've been looking for those keys for 20 minutes and I won't be on time. And then you figure out, well, will you even make it to work? And once you make that decision that you will take action, then it's about you really taking that action of how are you going to make it to work, who's going to take you, and if the meeting is important and it has to start without you, then what can you do to ensure that the meeting will still happen even though you're going to be late from work? Now, if you're a person who prouds him or herself in being always on time and never being late, this change of you not finding your keys and being late from work today will be a really big change for you. But remember, transitions are about responding to the change and you taking control and making a decision of what you're going to do about it. It can't be how it was before. So, how is it going to be? And I want to share with you one more thing, that most people think that transitions are only applied to things and changes that will happen in the future. But let me tell you that's a myth. It's not true, because you can apply transitions to things that happened to you in the past, to changes that happened to you in the past, and changes that are happening to you right now. So I believe that we all have the power to choose how we respond to changes, because we all want successful changes, and you have that power too. Choose your transition, choose your mindset, and then you will have a successful change. Because remember, transitions are essential for the change to work, and you want it to work for you. Thanks for listening.